Hello and welcome back to the Poetry Corner right here on CCTV Local Channel 4. I am Miss AyeVee, your Clark County Poet Laureate, and today we are here with the incredible talent, AA Monet. Hey!
Hey, happy to be here.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate having you. So I know you're doing tons of things, okay? Multi-talented artist. You dabble in film, you dabble in the writing, and even now you're kind of expanding the writing repertoire, if you will,
Yes.
into children's books. So congratulations. I know your book
Thank
just
you.
came out.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about that. Let's talk about the children's book and kind of what inspired you to kind of make a slight shift and to go into, children's literature.
Yes, of course. Thank you again for having me. Yes, my children's book, All the Things That Make You Special, just released on June 8th, which is National Children's Day. So that's why I
Yes.
chose that day. And it's a 3-in-1 actually, so it allows the kiddos to not only read, but to draw and color.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's like a first of its kind. So I really wanted something that was like interactive. I'm really big on creating books that have some type of interaction to them.
Yeah.
And what inspired me was my niece, who is my sweet baby, and she calls me Tum Tum. She's my whole heart.
That is the cutest.
Yeah, so as soon as I released my poetry book, she was like, Tum Tum, when are you going to write a book for me? And I'm like, you're right, honey. And I thought she was going to forget about it because this was over 3 years ago, and she had brought it up like a couple of times since. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate a book to you. So
that is the best possible peer pressure imaginable.
Exactly.
It's like,
I'll
yes,
take
keep
it.
me accountable, honey.
Exactly.
I love the idea of it also being, in a way, a workbook, in a way, a coloring book, as well as still having the words. So kids can read along, we can have bedtime stories, all that kind of stuff. So I know that, we talked about your other poetry books, so I'd love to just, briefly tap into that. Kind of, what's the name of your poetry book and how did that come to be?
Yeah, so that is titled Lost and Found. So it's separated into 3 sections. Each word is its own section. So lost is one, and is one, and found is the third. And I really wanted to have an and section because I feel like a lot of times we talk about being lost, we talk about being found, but we don't talk about how we got there. So and is my favorite for sure. And the key feature of the poetry book is that the reader gets to name each of the poems.
Wow. So it's also interactive in a really cool way. And I love what you said about having that and section because so often it's those in-between times, right? Those in-between moments that honestly are incredibly impactful to who we are as people and how we live our everyday lives. Maybe it isn't just about those big things, right? The being lost or going through the journey and the being found. It's kind of the messy middle where we get our character and where the fun happens. As well.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So I have to know the naming the poems themselves. Like, why did you decide to do? I feel like the egoic writer in me is like, no, it's what I call it. But what kind of led you to kind of go that direction?
Yes, I love answering this. So I love to go to art museums, and I went to an art museum and saw a painting that had a lot of blues. And I'm like, okay. And then I read the title and it said ocean, and I almost got disappointed. And I was like, what if I wanted it to be sadness or sky? And it almost felt like it interrupted the interpretation. And so I transferred that over to my poetry, where I was like struggling to name them because I even could think of multiple names for my poems. So I said, why not allow the reader to name all of them?
I love that. First of all, I love being inspired by artwork. That's just my thing. I love visual arts. But how cool for you to invite the reader into your world of poetry and being able to be a part of it, allowing them the opportunity to name them. Now it's like, see yourself here. This is your poem, which is so incredible, and I'm sure very, very impactful. So I'm already impressed, my friend. Okay, I'm already impressed. We got the children's books, we have your poetry books, and both kind of have that element of almost like a workbook, inserting yourself into these things. So it's not just yours as an artist, it's the entire community.
Exactly.
So that's really beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, so I would love to be able to hear some poetry from you. Would that be okay?
Of course.
I know our audience would love that as well.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. So please let us know your poem and take it away.
Okay. So the title of this poem is Ladies. Ladies, I want you to know that this poem is for you. It's for you, so know I'm going to say this because I have to. Because I love you. Because I was you. We are walking magic, and yet we rather ask someone else how we did it. A magician tricked by their own treat. Ladies, I refuse to admit defeat. Killing ourselves with the weight of how strong we should be. I know there's parts to you don't want anyone else to see. My emotions have a hide-and-seek arrangement where somehow my trauma always seems to find me. Knowing my hiding spots better than I do, ladies, it's time to heal the hurt left inside of you. Take a deep breath. I know how much your mind needs to rest because we are getting to a point of doing life just because. Drowning in alcohol, drugs, and love, come give me a hug. Let me use these words to wrap my Me Too blanket around you, snuggle up. Tell me about that foe you swore was friend. About when social media and your anxiety started walking hand in hand. Tell me about that toxicity you seek. About how that partner, that job, that situation made you feel like you couldn't really speak, let yourself see. We have all trauma flocked together for so long. We have forgotten how different our feathers have always been. And somewhere along the way, we chose not to fly. When faced with the truth, will you still tell yourself a lie? Ladies, I too have trusted a wolf, confusing his growl for a grin. Ignoring how he twice thought me a silly piece of meat, a pig only kept alive for slaughter, something pink for him to devour. But with each iteration of my tolerance, I got smarter. From straw to stick to brick, there was nothing he could say to get in. And to be clear, this story isn't about hardening. It's about making myself home, about boundaries and standing firm in my no. About not being someone's little midnight snack. So let him huff and puff knowing your foundation is built so that he can never get you back. Ladies, when was the last time you heard you are a walking hallelujah? Do you know the power of prayer? There is no longer enough space for both faith and fear. Break yourself down until you remember why the Creator created you. If you do nothing else, make sure you see yourself through. Romanticize this life packaged for you. I speak life into your career. I pray you experience nothing but happy tears. Remember to stop letting your sob be your only story. Ladies, this poem is for self. For you to sit and ask, when was the last time I said, I love you, and wasn't talking about someone else? So yes, ladies, this poem is for you because I had to, because I was you, and because I love you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. That was incredible. Was the last time you were a walking hallelujah? Yes. Okay. Say that. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Okay, you really had me with the walking hallelujah. Okay. I wanted to give a little praise dance, but I was holding it in. How powerful. Thank you so much for sharing with us and for our audience at home. We really appreciate you. Thank you folks again for tuning in with us. This is the Poetry Corner right here on CCTV Local Channel 4. And remember, it's always a great time for poetry. We'll see you next time.